I started working, when I first came to the Grahamstown Festival in about 83 or 84. And I was always struck by I've never really liked the town. I wasn't really able to explain it. I can't still really explain it. But I think it's got something to do with this very deep divide between, it's that black face of lack of opportunity and poverty staring at the white face of opportunity, I suppose. And I'm very interested in the politics here. The 1820 settlers came in. Before that, it had been the Dutch in this area, the Trekboers, and then the 1820 settlers came in, and then there was a series of wars between the Xhosa, who were also moving into this area, and the Khoi were around here, and there was a whole lot of really interesting colonial problems played out on this field, and that's really interesting to me. It's most of what I read is history, and my work just comes from my life and from what I see around me. For me, what I find about Grahamstown is that not much seems to have changed over the years. It's still very separated. So it's a place where there's not much movement. It's almost like a dusty place in the attic that you discover, and then not much has changed. And the fact that the railway station sits on this fault line between these two worlds that I've mentioned, and the fact that it's a place where there's meant for transport but there's no movement anymore, sort of plays both into those two things conceptually. And so it goes, looking at crime, looking at poverty, looking at the two domestic workers who stand at the gate to go over into the graveyard, and they've got irons. They're ironing clothing, but they've given up ironing, and the clothes are smouldering there. And Mshini Wam is playing, and it's there's like a dream coming of something else, and they're sick of being the bloody maids ironing the whitey's clothing. So it's dealing with that sort of stuff. Again, I'm unpacking what I see in the society here, and so I see a racially divided society and a class divided society. And it's a very big schism between the two. We know it in this country, everybody talks about the time bomb we're sitting on. If we don't address these issues, there's going to be an explosion sooner or later. We stop seeing things because we become immune to it a little bit, because there's so much of it around. So we stop seeing the poverty around us. It's just somewhere there in the background. But by spotlighting it and by looking at what that balance is about, I'm wanting to foreground that, obviously, to make people more aware. They're all from here. There's about 70 in the cast. There's a choir that's part of. So I think there are 3 white people in the cast from Grahamstown, and there's 67 black people. It's just white people are very difficult to get. We really tried. I wanted more white people in the show, but they weren't very willing. The street kids are 33 children. They're all from one school. I forget the name of the school. It's just up the road here. And they play the street children. There's this contrast of a little cold hand in your hand leading you. There's something very fragile about that, and it's those sort of contradictions that really interest me. You go through this harrowing journey of where you're seeing a lot of conflict between black and white. Yeah, my art is looking at sometimes telling stories, but it's what I see. I never try to find solutions. I'm not a politician. I'm not a social worker. It's like I see the world and I see there are problems in things that we ignore, but they're very evident actually if you look at them closely, and it's about highlighting those, especially in this piece. Bimga bafa,